Shabbos Parshas Pekudei. In this week's Parsha, we have Betzalel putting together the Mishkan, and everything that he did was whatever Hashem said, that's what they did. Whatever Betzalel was doing, he was doing it because Hashem said. And it's a Murdig, the base of Levi says, Betzalel was a smart person. You know how I know that Betzalel was a smart person? Because Hashem said so. Hashem filled Betzalel with Chachma, with all. He's brilliant. He was a 13-year-old kid, mastermind of the Mishkan, of a spiritual architect, spiritual physical architect, and yet none of that had anything to do with what Betzalel was doing. He didn't add his own chacham, his own das, his own ideas and concepts. Like, you know what would be cool here? You know why he did every single step, every square inch, every design? It's for one reason and one reason only. Because Hashem said so. This is exactly why the Mishkan is the counterbalance, the kapara for the Eigel Hazav. That Eigel Hazav, that's the chait was perpetuated, was created, was powered by Klal Yisrael's own ideas. You know what? We want a connection with Hashem. They weren't bad people. They weren't trying to do anything bad. And they're like, you know, let's do Avodah Zarah. No, it wasn't an Avodah Zarah rally. It was, let's get close to Hashem, but we don't have Moshe Rabbeinu. I have a kunz. Is this what Hashem wants? That's not what I'm talking about. I have a kunz. How to get closer to Hashem? And that's not what Hashem wants. Hashem tells us what He wants. If we're not sure, we go to the Rav, and the Rav tells us what Hashem wants. But Klal Yisrael came up with their own idea. They didn't ask Aaron, what does the Rebbeinu Shalom want from us now? How are we supposed to get close to Hashem without Moshe Rabbeinu? They told Aaron what they're doing. They said, we're going to make an Eigel. This is our chachma. This is our idea. Comes along the Mishkan to be mechaper for that Avera. We're doing what Hashem wants. And if I come up with the same idea, even if Betzalel could have come up with the same design for the Mizbeach, that's not why he would have been building the Mizbeach that way. It was simply because Parshas. It's Parshas. This is what Hashem wants. This is what I do. That's exactly hafuch of the Eigel Hazav. And sometimes we have to train ourselves. It's not an easy thing to be able to do things L'shem Shemayim. What does Hashem want me to do here? Rav Moshe Chagiz brings down a story that took place. It's a famous ma'aseh. If you've been to Tzvas and been on any tour, you've heard this story. It's Moridig. There was a time of the Arizal in the 1500s, and there was a Pasha Yid from Portugal, a Portuguese Yid who was living in Tzvas at the time. And he heard a shir from the Rav one Shabbos, Parshas Pekudei, about the Lechem Hapanim, marvelous breads. There was like a tefach thick Sephardi matzahs, and you know, it's a miracle that those things stayed fresh for half an hour outside of the oven, outside the freezer. But week to week, they were warm, toasty, mushy, fresh, delicious, smelling. They would show Klal Yisrael when they came to wear the regal. They would move the shulchan and show them. Take a look. Hashem loves you. He's a nice galoy. And he was hearing about this Lechem Hapanim, and the Rav was saying how it's such a halal. It's a halal. It's heartbreaking to think that we have that this nachas ruach that we're able to bring to the Baruch Shalom when the Beis Hamikdash was around. We no longer have that nachas ruach. And it was a tefillah for Mashiach. This Pasha Yid walked out of shul saying, "My wife bakes good bread. I could bring Lechem Hapanim. I'm not sure why this is so complicated." And he comes home and he says, "Chanchi, I want you to bake Lechem Hapanim." He says, "What are Lechem Hapanim?" It says, "It's 2 challahs. Make 2 challahs. You know, Lechem Mishnah. That's enough for Kavod Shabbos. And I'll give it to Hashem." Pasha Yid, where's Hashem? He goes into shul. It's the holiest place in shul. Goes to the Aron HaKodesh. He takes these 2 delightful challahs, the Kavod Shabbos Kodesh, for the Lechem Hapanim, and he puts it Erev Shabbos into the Aron HaKodesh. The guy walked off way on a high. He said, "I just brought the Lechem Hapanim that the Rav is desperate to be bringing. I am the Nachas Ruach of the Rebbeinu Shalom." And in that beautiful Parshas, he came back the next morning before the Aron HaKodesh was open for laning, and he took a peek inside, and the challahs were gone. He his carbon was accepted. Ooh, the simcha! Oh, the simcha! He said, Chanshi, our carbon wasn't accepted. Can you believe this? I'm the one and only person on this world still bringing the Lechem Hapanim. Can you imagine this? Turns out the Gabbai was cleaning up the shul, setting up the tables and chairs before Shabbos. And he noticed that the urn was open, a little crack. He went to peek inside, see what was going on. It should be locked. And he sees someone put challah in there. They were fresh. They look delicious. He said, I could do some challahs l'kavod Shabbos. And every single week, this Pashut Yid, this Portuguese Yid, would come and bring his 2 challahs, put them in there, daven to the Rebbeinu Shalom, tell him thank you for the schus of being able to be the perpetuator of the Lechem Hapanim, the Heilige Lechem Hapanim. And every single week the Gabbai would come in and he'd find his challahs there, and he would either bring it home l'kavod Shabbos, or he would find someone in the community who needed some challahs for l'kavod Shabbos. This went on for months and months. And then one day, one Erev Shabbos, the Pashut Yid comes in with his Lechem Hapanim, and he puts it down in the Aron HaKodesh, but this time something was different. This time the Rav was sitting in the corner of the shul. He was sitting there quietly preparing his drasha, and he saw the Pashut Yid walk in, but the Pashut Yid didn't see the Rav sitting there learning. And the Rav watched as he puts his Lechem Hapanim into the Aron HaKodesh, and he's thanking their Rebbeinu Shalom for the schus. And he's crying and laughing and talking to Hashem in such a beautiful state. And the Rav realized that this is preposterous. He totally misunderstood my drasha. So he got up and he walked over to the Yid. He said, Tzadik, this is not Lechem Hapanim. Lechem Hapanim was in the base of Mikdash. We don't have that. I was in the Mishkan. We don't have that. I don't know what's happening with your challahs, but if you come and sit with me, I'll tell you one thing. The Rebbeinu Shalom's not taking them out of the Aron and eating them. He had no idea what to do with this piece of information. He knew for months that Hashem was accepting his korban. So he sat down with the Rav in the back. And an hour later, the Gabbai walked in. And the Gabbai goes in. And he says, thank you, Rebbeinu Shalom. And he takes these challahs and he starts heading out the door. But this time the Rav cut him off. And he says, where are you going with the challahs? He says, I'm going to give it to someone who needs challahs for Shabbos, l'kavod Shabbos. And the Ani Chavta was going on, the Pashut Yid Chavta was going on, the Gabbai Chavta was going on, and the Rav said, you guys out of your mind, genug shoin the Lechem Hapanim. As they're busy catching their breath and figuring out what was happening and apologizing and thanking, and a message arrived from the Arizal. It said, it's a message for the Rav. It said, go home, say goodbye to your family, because tomorrow you're no longer going to be in this world. Whoa. The Rav ran straight to the Rizal's house, shaking, white as a ghost. The Rizal sends you a message like that. And he said, Rebbe, what did I do wrong? The Rizal looks at the Rav in the eye and he says, you don't understand. You know what you just took from the Rebbeinu Shalom? Since the Beis Hamikdash was destroyed, since the Churban Bayis, nothing gave this much nachas ruach to the Rebbeinu Shalom like the Lechem Hapanim of this Portuguese Yid. What do you think the Rebbeinu Shalom wanted from you? You think he wanted you to clarify what you meant when you said Lechem Hapanim? What you meant when you said that you wish we could be makav the Lechem Hapanim? What you think that this guy needed to understand the parasha, or do you think he needed to understand that he was dedicating his heart and soul to the Rebbeinu Shalom? And he felt that kirvas alekim, that Hashem was accepting his his leiv and nefesh. He said, Hashem has, it's your time. Kachava, the next day the Rav passed away. Be'ezer Hashem, very soon we'll be zeichet to have the Lechem Hapanim in the Mishkan. And that is going to come as a schus of us doing what we're supposed to be doing just because that's what we're supposed to do, because that's what the Baruch Shalom wants from us. The way Betzalel built the Mishkan, not because that's what I feel makes sense. This is logic to me. There's right and there's wrong, and that is purely dictated by the Ratzon Hashem. To be able to understand this and have the koyach, the clarity, the strength, the determination to actually live by what we know is the Ratzon Hashem. Lehodos Shabbos.